Bruce, how you doing?
Good, Steve. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to the International Women's Day and all those fine ladies out there. Thank you for everything you do, and I hope you have a great day. Steve, let's get after it here.
That was Women's Month.
Month? They got a whole month?
So?
Well, that's good. They deserve it. So I stand corrected. Did I say day?
It is day.
It is day?
It is.
Let's make it a month.
Right. Hey, I was a little late to this. I saw Tuca having a little trouble getting off the ice last. What's his status?
We had an optional practice today, and most are having one right now. Most of the players took it. We've been on a pretty heavy week. So he obviously, was a little bit uncomfortable. We'll see how his status is for tomorrow. I believe it's Yaro's start anyway. So if there's any issue at all, we may send someone else to back up just for precautionary measures because it's a quick trip in and out. That's the adjustment we'd make if like I said, he's not prepared to back up or not able to back up. So I'll have a better idea on that going forward.
And with the Islanders tomorrow, obviously you guys have had a little with their forecheck, and now with with the defense in the state that's in with the depth. How do you combat that?
Well, I suspect they'll play behind us most of the night. I think they recognize how they can have success. We're going to have to get going a little quicker back there, get back on the puck quicker. So how do you do that? You need a little bit of help from your partner, your forwards, running some legal interference. That's one thing we can do to help our D. I think we've done a better job with that. Stretch them out a little bit with our wingers getting a little higher, so forwards are making more stretch passes, or D, sorry. Get in and out of our end quicker. Goalie playing the puck can help you a lot if they put it in bad spots. And then playing a little more in their end, Steve, to be quite honest, so that they're getting pucks out and they're fatigued and changing instead of having a lot of energy to forecheck. So there's different ways you can combat it, both at the puck at the moment and by playing better with it before they start their forecheck, so they don't have as much energy to do it.
Thank you.
Matt Porter.
Bruce, on the power play, the Islanders in particular have done a really good job against you guys. If you look at the shots for and against, I think they're 3-0 while killing penalties. What do they do specifically really well when on their kill?
Well, I think we've had trouble getting into the zone has been a bit of an issue for us. I know we gave up a shorty up there. We ran into each other. That didn't help. So I don't think they take a lot of penalties either. To be honest with you, they're a pretty disciplined group, so you don't really truly get into a rhythm against them. They got D that, they're bigger guys. They have good sticks, so they protect the front of the net. They do that 5-on-5 and on their kill. So at the end of the day, they're a defensive-minded team first. They can certainly score. So I think that bleeds into your penalty kill. It certainly happens with us. You see it, we're up there where I think we're number one now. It's just some of the habits that are ingrained in you 5-on-5 that help you kill penalties. So I think that's just a product of they value keeping the puck out of their net, whether it's even strength or penalty kill. So to have guys that do that or want to do that and eat pucks and have good sticks and not cheat, typically that's the ingredients for a good penalty kill. And I see a lot of what we do, in that as well. So two similar teams. We just got to find a way to get in the zone a little cleaner, and we'll address that tomorrow. And then take the appropriate shot. Right now, obviously, we're lacking a little bit of that, a little bit of execution, the right decision making, the puck recovery, then making a play off that in our power play. And it shows could have helped us probably win some games along the way here, but that's something we'll work to correct.
Thanks.
Joe Haggerty.
Hey, Butchie. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's it.
Did you just call in to say good morning, Hags? Thanks.
No, I'm here. You got me?
Yeah.
Just wondering, you got a stretch here of 7 games in 11 days, I think it is, coming up starting tomorrow, and 12 games the rest of the month. Just what kind of adjustments you're going to have to make now that things are starting to get really heavy with the schedule?
Well, practice time, we could use some of it for certain areas of our game. There's other areas of our game I like. So that's one area you have to use it wisely. Morning skates, you probably have to build in maybe a few more things than you normally would just to loosen up. Getting the appropriate rest obviously falls in hand with that. How you use your lineup, obviously, we have some injuries in the back end, so we don't have the luxury of subbing in maybe our 7th, 8th defenseman, what have you, because they're already playing. So, that's a little bit of, there's a little bit of sort of keeping your fingers crossed that, that no more of those injuries come along and you get through the stretches like that. And that's about it. You manage the players' minutes, try to use everyone in your lineup. I think we have good depth. Understand when you got to push the buttons on certain guys and stretch them out a little bit. And that's about it. Like I said, I think depth of your lineup is what comes through for you when you have those difficult stretches, and a little bit of injury luck too along the way. And that's what we're dealing with in the back end. So opportunity to look at those guys, but at the end of the day, they got their work cut out for them. They got to be ready to go every night and park things in the past. We got to put the Jersey game behind us, build off at the things we did well, and obviously, prepare for the Islanders and a team that's had our number. So it's a good challenge for us. We tend to respond better to those, I think, than just clicking games off the schedule. So I would anticipate we'll be ready to go tomorrow and have a good, strong effort.
Can it make it tougher to implement special teams changes, things like that, once the practice time starts going by the wayside?
I think that's one area we should be able to work on, because it's a little more specific and it's not hard minutes on the skill guys that are on the power play. It's a lot tougher on the killers. We're not going to change a lot on our penalty kill because it's been going well, even though we've lost 3 defensemen that we really rely on in the kill. So credit to Joe and Dino for that, to roll those new guys in and getting them up to speed in a hurry. Power play, yeah, we have to look at our personnel. As David Krejci, we made us, threw him back on the first unit, put Marsh in front. Is that something we have to look at? If so, then those are what I was saying. You have to use those, like tomorrow morning, for example. We're not on today. We're gonna have to run through some stuff maybe a little longer than you would. So morning skates become a little more like, I'm not going to say a regular practice because that's not accurate, but bleeds into a little more length, I guess, than you'd normally have in the morning. So that's an adjustment that we have to look at. 5-on-5 scoring, if you're running certain other plays, a little more structure off a forecheck turnover, et cetera, then you have to build that into your morning skate as well. So that's what you have to do, or through use of video, obviously, if you're not on the ice. But yes, I think when you don't have practice time and it's not going well, you can't correct on the fly in this league. I don't believe, unless you have a very, very veteran team that's been there and done it. I think the younger teams or the middle of the road teams have a tough time. And I'm sure if you ask coaches around the league and some of those teams that get into those losing streaks, to not be able to correct during practice times, during those heavy schedules, what they look back on the season and gets you in trouble. So we're fortunate. There's not a million things we need to correct. Obviously, we have to generate more offense. That is one thing, but I think there's enough time here where we can certainly take care of that, or at least put the effort into it, and hopefully it translates.
Thanks, Butchie.
Yeah.
Dan Roach.
Morning, Bruce.
Hi, Dan.
Every day in my house is International Women's Day, 24/7, 12 months a year. It's been the key to 29 years of successful, blissful marriage.
Well, good luck on your way to 30, Dan. We're rooting for you.
Thank you very much. I'll need it. And just kind of following up what Hag said, compared to the bubble, compared to years past, this year especially, what are some of the challenges of handling their workloads mentally, and not only physically, but also mentally as you go through this grind?
Well, I mean, we map it out, or try to at least, and have a plan. And then you get feedback from your training staff. The guys in the gym will give us feedback on, what we can get done in there to keep our conditioning if we do stay off the ice. And the players, right? They're the ones that have the best idea of where their bodies are at and how they're feeling. So, we tend to go to them first, especially the older group. Obviously, we can see sometimes when our guys look like they're lacking some zip. You sense it in the room. It's quieter. And then it's up to the staff to decide what's more important, rest, or do we need to go and work on some things? Around here, we've always tried to correct things, and we have a hardworking group and ask for that. But other days, you just need to stay away from the rink. And that goes to your point about the mental part of it. there's not a lot of outlets right now for people everywhere, right? With COVID, you can't just go and sit with friends and try to forget about your job or whatnot, or visit family sometimes even. So it's a little more difficult, and you have a lot of free time, and you can get in your own head if you do that. So that's a challenge for everybody, and I think it falls on the individual to try to sort of balance out your your work life and then park some of that stuff and do what you have to do. And I think people have been dealing with almost a year now, so they should have better skills to do it. And that's the challenge for our players. And as a tight-knit group, getting together, guys going for dinner on the road and having a few laughs, it just doesn't happen anymore. So that is the tough part if you get into one of your slides. So that for some teams will be a challenge. For us, we've avoided those for the most part. So I think we've handled it well in that regard. But at the end of the day, your point's well taken. It's tough for sports teams that are in a bit of a bad stretch to get together and sort of talk it out or hug it out or whatever you need to do, get out in the town to get it out of your system, whatever it may be. But that's the hand you're dealt, right?
Last question, Tara Sullivan.
Hey, Bruce, thank you. I know you talked about this plenty over the last couple of days, but just wanted to confirm if there was any newer update on Brandon Carlo. And I just was curious if you had a feeling about the way the system works in terms of sort of the clean slate. Like, should players' history be wiped clean at some point, or do you have an opinion on that? Does it open a door, for sort of starting fresh when maybe you shouldn't?
Carlo, I texted the other day, is feeling better. So again, I don't have anything more than that. So that's good news. As for it's a good question, Tara. I think people deserve, if they change their ways and correct some of the behavior that got them in trouble before, that they should be dealt with that way. If you don't and you continue to, then I do believe that, you do have to learn from your past, right? I mean, and especially when it comes to situations where you're getting into disciplinary issues. So yes, I do believe that it's inevitable. You're gonna look back on a guy's record. I assume if you're talking about the Wilson suspension, that they're going to consider that. I also think then it's collectively bargained by the Players Association that there's a time that goes by that they should be able to be treated from scratch. And if that's what's collectively bargained, then those are the rules you should live by, right? I mean, that's, is that kind of where you're going with that? Or
No, you answered. That's what I was thinking. I realize the collective bargaining aspect is a big part of it, but I guess there's a part of me that just says, it's not car insurance. Like, these are injuries, you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, it's people's heads and it's their careers, right? Yeah. So I'm with you on that. And I think it does fall, after a while, you can negotiate whatever you want as player association reps, owners, whatever, GMs, NHL disciplinary committee. It does fall on the player at some point to have respect for a fellow player. To me, it really does. I mean, guys play the game long enough to know it's out there now that there are serious head injuries that have affected ex-players that we know a lot more about now. So we should be better educated, and we are. And the players should use that education when they get on the ice. And listen, it's a fast game. Things are going to happen out there. It's a violent game, but they should know better in certain situations. And that would be my opinion on that is the players have to own some of these hits when they know a guy's in a vulnerable position. I mean, we all want to win the game. We all want to, be the hardest team to play against out there, but there's situations the players just have to hold themselves accountable. That's how I feel about it. And it won't get corrected until they do. And that's just my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.